Welcome to the video and happy holidays. We're going to learn how to put together this super cute Kawaii Christmas tree that Jack designed. Your kit will come with 6 color changing and 1 plain yellow LEDs, 2 kinds of surface mount resistors, a battery holder, and the pin and pin back, and of course your Christmas tree. So let's start here at the back side by getting ready to put on our first resistor. We'll get our soldering iron hot and put just a little bit of solder on the pad for R1. Now, these surface mount resistors come on a strip with this thin film holding them in place. So to get them out, you just peel the film back and then carefully turn this out onto your desk. Now, these resistors are super tiny, but believe it or not, they're actually labeled with their value. If we turn this over and get a closer look, we might need an even closer look. There we go. We can see that this is a 220 ohm resistor. That's the right value for the yellow LED. So now to attach this, we just hold it to the pad that we tinned, apply our iron, and it's actually kind of easy. And now we need to turn around and do the other pad. So we'll heat that pad, press in a little bit of solder. And just like that, our surface mount resistor is attached. And so to do the rest of these, we'll tin up. I usually put solder on just 1 pad per resistor. Now we'll peel out our resistors. And the same thing we'll repeat just like we did on resistor number 1. These are a different value because the color changing ones need a higher value resistor. So you can see what we do here is we just heat up the solder that we've already applied and kind of just push the resistor into that hot puddle, basically. And the resistor will stick right into place. So I'll speed this up so we can get through this quickly, placing on the other resistors and then coming through with the solder and soldering in the other side for each one. Here's a little close-up of that solder. And you can see how it just wants to flow right into place. Surface tension makes it want to stick in the right place. So it's actually not as hard as you might think. Here's a nice view of our nicely soldered surface mount resistors. Next step will be to put a little bit of solder on the negative pad. This helps the negative part of the battery connect with the rest of the circuit. And now for the clip, we don't want this to be exactly lined up with the pads. We want it to be rotated counterclockwise just a bit. So you can see I've got it here as far to the left on this pad as I can. And on the bottom, the bottom connector will be as far to the right of its pad as possible. Or I guess now that I've spun it, the top. But you get my point. So we'll add a generous amount of solder here. And we do this kind of skewed battery clip just to make sure that there's enough room for the battery to slide in past our second LED. I'll show you what I mean a little bit later, but for now, let's focus on the non-color changing yellow light for the star. You can see that I just put some solder on the pads, and now I will attach the shorter of the 2 legs of the LED, which is the ground leg, to the negative pad. And we'll have to bend the positive lead like this so that it doesn't block the pad for the pin. And we'll just attach this leg to the pad here. And now it's probably a good time to do a little test. Let's cut off the leads first, and then we'll insert our battery and just kind of make sure that things are going according to plan so far. Let's check it out. There we go. Lights up on the first try. And look, it's looking adorable already. Now all we need to do is add the rest of the 6 color changing lights. I'll start here on D2 because it's the hardest one. The ground pin is actually pretty easy, but this the next pin, the power pin, the positive pin, I should say, we have to be very careful about how we bend it out of the way so that it doesn't get in the way of the battery. So it should just kind of barely touch the inner side of that pad once you've soldered it down. And again, the purpose of that is just to make sure that we have enough room for our battery to slide in past that light. So here's a good example of that working, and now we can turn it over just to make sure that our light lights up, and it does. So now let's put in the second color changing light. That'll go into slot D3 here, and we'll do the anode and cathode of this LED Going down the board, it's really just a matter of bending the legs of the LED to be in the right place for the pads. So once you've done one, you've kind of done them all. I'll go through this next part quickly and just show you affixing the LEDs and trimming off the legs. And wow, the hard part is done. The only thing we have to do left is put on the pin. And at this point, that should be a piece of cake, really. So here we go. This is our completed tree pin. We're ready to slide in the battery and turn it over, check to make sure that all of our lights turn on. And now we get to enjoy the fruits of our labors, watching the lights on our tree slowly change color, twinkling the night away. Thank you all for watching the video, and I hope that you have a great holiday season and enjoy your pins.